Okay, so we're going to get a little more modern here.
Yes.
And we have, what does that say? The Young Ladies Oracle over here. And over there we have some kind of card game manual, right?
The Square of Sevens.
The Square of Sevens. And
Yeah.
you've taken out a deck of cards so that we
Yes.
can try that?
Nicholas II's.
Nicholas II's cards. Okay.
Yeah.
So when are those from, roughly?
These, the cards
Mhm.
are early 20th
Right.
century. Yeah, so
Mhm.
not sure exactly when they were printed.
Okay.
We can find out.
Let's just,
Sure.
let's use these beautiful cards. Why don't
Okay.
we play cards first?
Should we see? Okay.
Okay.
So this is a really funny little book. It's quite beautifully done.
Mm-hmm.
The printing is really
Wait,
elegant.
hang on. You just went past the copyright
Oh.
page. What does it say? It was right there. I saw it
I think
somewhere.
it's just there.
There. Copyright 1896
Right.
by Harper and Brothers. Okay.
But it's actually this edition is printed in 1900.
1900,
So
okay.
they've taken a text, the Square of Sevens, that was
Uh-huh.
printed then, and added on all of these kind of beautiful printing elements and given it a preface that kind of pokes fun at it. So the book is actually the authoritative system of cartomancy.
cartomancy. And
Right.
for cartomancy, we need
cards.
cards. May I
Yes.
actually use Nicholas II's cards? Is this, by the way, Nicholas II?
I guess there's a resemblance. Really,
I don't
in
know.
the mustache.
I don't know. Well, we should go to the king, right,
Yeah.
for that. But anyway, okay.
So the preface actually kind of pokes fun at the seriousness of the book, of the
Okay.
text.
The original
Yeah, of the
Square of
original,
Sevens
right.
book.
And it says, how charmingly 18th century, basically.
How charmingly 18th century,
Yeah.
this being the turn of the 20th century
Right.
when this was made. So I need to make a square of seven?
Let's find one of the, so there are all of these different diagrams that
Cards
are
in a
offered
pack.
us.
Deal 2 cards laid flat at the right, upward, as in figure 10. Oh, figure 10 here. Okay, but so we need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so it would be a square of 7, except that you remove some from the corner.
Right.
So something about this, and then this, and then we have to actually go 6 down. All right. We're doing this for you guys with the cameras, okay? It's going to make a nice picture, and then we'll start talking again. Here, you want to help me?
Sure.
There you go.
Get
So
to
we
the-
need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think is how it was, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then this one goes up here, and then we fill this all in.
So we've got 5 down
Can
here.
you guys see all this with the overhead camera?
The top card is out, the red.
The red, you want to move them back?
Yeah.
Oh, these are supposed to be face down.
Yeah,
We need to reveal the.
right. Is that better, Alex?
A little bit better.
Oh, you,
Better on.
Yeah,
We can see the
kind of
edge.
get everything.
well, actually, I think it's only the ones that are turned over that are important, so how
Okay,
about
we
I'll
definitely
move
got
the whole
those.
thing down.
Should we fill in?
Jared, am I right that this aesthetically, even if we only show it for a second, is kind of worth it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm learning from him, you know?
Okay, so then we
Wait, so I'm trying to
we
be
don't
neat
have
here.
this, right?
So we have a grid, and how many at the bottom does it go
There
across?
should
1,
be
2, 3. Oh, I can only see the other
5.
page.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then this one is 43. Should be up.
Okay,
and
trying to make
then-
it straight, because Jared's a perfectionist, and he won't like it if we make a big messy grid of cards.
Okay.
Right, Jared?
That's true.
See,
You know me well.
it's not like I'm not like that, you know?
And then we need one more here. Is that right?
I don't know, I can't see.
Well, I don't know exactly what we've done.
Let's see,
But
we want this side here. Wait, where were we? But we were in, okay. Cards in the pack, deal 2 cards laid at the right, face up. No, wait, you were doing this page and I was doing this page.
oh, we've probably revealed too much.
Ah, no, wait, hang on. So these have to go face down. And there should be a full row here, all the way to the top.
All the way to the top.
Yeah, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
We've got 5.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a few more.
Yeah.
I think that's 2. And then I'm going to fill all this in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here, you make them straight. I'll see if I can figure this out. Wait, no, this is not right. Hang on, no, this has to be turned over.
And that one?
Either that or we don't have enough. And then that goes away.
This one.
I'm not sure if we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Move it up. It's better.
Better up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. How far up?
That far is good.
Okay.
Right there is perfect.
Okay, you move them all up. I'll get another row here. I'll just stick them in the middle.
Okay.
Oh. All right, now I am guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God, we need
A whole nother row?
another row. Yeah,
Goodness.
hang on. So and that
This
one
one goes one up.
right, and that one actually this is missing. It goes 1, 2, and then this goes like this.
That, okay.
Okay, and then all the way to the top. And of course, we have no idea what we're doing. Okay, now we will read ahead in the book and see if we can do something interesting for you. Okay, so that we've now made, I believe, this. Okay, figure 10. Okay, so it said here, cards height, deal 2 cards laid at the right, upward as in figure 10. There.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing your square now, holding 4 rows of 7s.
1, 2, 3, 4. So these are our
Oh, that's our 4
4
rows
rows
of
of 7.
7s. Okay. Again, mix your cards and deal from their top 2 cards leftward in descent, as in figure 11. Here, we must consult figure 11.
figure 11.
I will mix the remaining cards. Is that what they mean?
Again, mix your cards.
We need
and
to
deal
know the
from their
future.
top.
We need
Yes.
to do this right.
Yeah,
Okay?
so
okay. I have
mix the
these
cards that remain, I would assume.
And now what does figure 11
2
want us to do?
cards, and then figure 11 puts these 2 here.
And put them face up or face down?
Well,
I guess face up.
it says,
Actually, we just
Laid in
assumed that
descent.
those other ones.
as in figure 1. How much, O friend, in human life is nearly perfect, yet not quite perfect? Confused now,
Yes, I am.
as best and honestest you may be, for you can hardly essay a shuffle. At least once your 2 last cards, and so complete your square of 7s.
So put them face down? I don't know if those other ones were supposed to be face up. Those are just numbers. I think we were supposed to
Maybe
start from the beginning.
it's how we're
just
supposed to
kind of
lay it
starting
all
from the
out,
middle.
right?
Okay.
So basically, we're
cheating.
just moving.
Okay, so we're just making a square of 7s.
So what they're trying to
And
get
we
us
were
to do,
supposed to make them in a particular order, but we messed up here, so we're just going to keep cheating
Right.
here.
so they're trying to get us to just this point,
By the way,
but in a specific order.
Nicholas, you're missing a card. Last time I checked. Oh.
But it's nothing. Or is it? Is it an ace?
Maybe this is like the ace of ours.
the ace of
I
Zars.
don't know. But okay, at least that's the right number of cards now. Okay.
Okay, so having built your square,
Now, here we go. We have built our square, even if we did it slightly wrong.
choose, that's choose with a U,
Okay.
the extreme right-hand card in the uppermost row.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay, lay it on such card of the same suit as nearest it in the same row.
Oh no, these were all supposed to be face up. Okay. Just for you,
Cartomancy
Jared.
is hard.
We are ignorant of cartomancy. But you had a beautiful picture of them all face down, right? So now you'll have a beautiful picture of them all face up.
Okay.
Somebody could come help us if they'd like to. I don't think we're putting this in the video, are we?
I'm gonna put all this.
But all this, they are morons and cannot read the.
They should have started at the beginning. It is an authoritative book.
Well, the authoritative book should have told us which way to put the cards.
Yeah.
Maybe it did on the first page that we skipped. Thank you, Alex. Okay. Can you see it well enough in this position? Do we have to move the whole thing? Say no.
I think it looks
No,
good.
it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little messy, but I mean, you know.
I love you too, Jared. Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we've built our square.
We have built our square
and
of
we have
7.
chosen the extreme up right-hand card.
Okay, I'm
in the
choosing the
uppermost row.
extreme right-hand card.
And then you lay it
Mhm.
on any card of the same suit nearest it.
That would be here.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Mhm.
you go to the last card on the left of the row.
The top row?
I guess so.
Okay, there you go.
And then lay that, let's see,
Nearest it?
this is the row's master card. Okay.
Ah.
So we never cover it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cannot be covered nor moved. It must be open and alone and abide as it is.
Okay.
And then the 7 master cards counted downward on the square's
So these are
edge. So
all-
this is the master column.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our master column. Let's see if we can get to a point where we can tell anything about it. It's extremely complicated. It just goes on and on.
Okay,
and
so
on.
let's pretend that we get to the
So-
end. We're going to do like a cooking
Yeah,
show.
right.
So at the end, what is this supposed to look like? We'll just cheat.
Well, you're supposed to
Not
then
putting this
start
in, right,
asking it
Jared?
questions.
Asking questions.
Yes. So
Do they have a picture of what it's supposed to look like?
here we
Okay. Of the parallelogram, etc. Master column. Do we have a copy of this book?
Not that I know, but
Because
we
I'm just
can
wondering if we
try
should
to
do this another time,
get
like
it.
figure it out, and then, because it's going to take too long to actually do this.
Yeah,
Like it
it's all
looks
right.
good.
I just pulled it because I remember the students were
Yeah, I
trying
know,
it,
I
and
know,
I was like,
and I
oh,
forgot
if they
it
were
took
doing
like an
it,
hour,
like,
right?
we can do this.
But if we get to the end, does it say anything useful to read?
Well, it starts telling us how to speak to the oracle. So it says, okay.
Let's see, especially, is this the truth with the old or elderly, or with those wed? Such must expect to be told of the experience that lie behind them rather than before them, of good or evil, for fate oft allows sparingly of incident to those of middle years or later, and therewith she is often pleased to make her oracle speak coldly to a querist of ancient circumstances. Do you think they made this language sound really ancient, even though it was written in 1896, just to make it sound like it's more spooky?
I think so, yeah. And definitely they borrowed some of the spelling. So this is more like what we saw in those 17th century books,
of
right?
a particular uncertainty in prognostic.
And prognostic, yeah.
Prognostic. Okay, so what happens in the end here?
It starts to tell us
Having read the
how to do the...
parallelogram from the beginning. So if we were going to do
Right.
this whole thing, we would need, an hour or two. This would be like a really fun game, and I think they should re-release it. Where was that thing about the parallelogram? I lost it.
It was, so it's in some ways it's kind of like the tarot, but because it starts to tell us once we've moved, where's that chart?
I'm thinking, Jared, you just take this and like cut it up into lots of little pieces, and then you want me to just like take some cards away and make it look like we did something?
Well, if you see a picture in the book.
We did. That's what we're looking for.
We did
This
see
is a
it.
picture of a parallelogram, but I remember what it looked like. It had the master card. It had all of these gone, so I'm
Yeah.
going to take all of these away. And maybe had one more row. I hope not.
So they start
But some were turned over and some were not.
it's really,
And probably there were some
disappeared.
that had like stuff on top, but it looked like this.
it was right after this stuff, right?
Sorry?
It was right after
Yeah, I swear
it
it
showed
was
us
there.
how
We
to...
both saw it. Maybe it disappeared because it's a mystical book.
Ah,
You found it? It's okay.
been
And
revealed
It does,
to us again.
it does look like this. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we need to make the parallelogram. So let's go with that. The red is the face down ones. Oh, but we know it's not because
We
the
know it's not. The
MasterCard.
MasterCard has to
Okay,
be
so the red's
revealed.
going to be the face up.
Okay.
So here, or maybe the reds are just the ones that matters. But okay, so that's face up, down, down. Here, I'll do from the bottom. So up, down, 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 down. Wait. Down. Oh, they're all down. Okay. All right. So here we have made the mystical parallelogram. If only we knew what we were doing.
Well,
Let's see.
we need our oracle, really. That's what we're missing.
We do. It says here, you will best not disturb the cards hid in the piles, for it is well to let sleeping dogs lie. And more over needless fingering and quiddling of the parallelogram is not commended. With the cards thus rejected, have you no more to do. They are called the sacrifice. Okay, I want to play this game, but I have to say I'm drawn in by it as a game.
It connects, though, to what you're talking about in some ways, because the book both invites you to do this. In fact, the whole book is about doing this.
Right.
And then it chastises you for wanting to know
Exactly. Not
the
commended.
futures,
no,
the futures that you've
quibbling and trying to
sacrificed.
figure out stuff that you're not supposed to know.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is important actually because
Right.
there is some systems like this geomancy, or in some sense, there's tasseography is with the tea leaves and the coffee grounds and all of that, and anything that has to do with position is this geomancy stuff. And some of it is very serious and very, very seriously used today. And there are some people who believe that something like this randomization process of putting cards from a deck could be controlled by some supernatural force. And so we're sort of making fun of it, but we're making fun of it because it's in what seems to be kind of a children's book as a game. But we should be respectful that there definitely are people who think that this kind of system can be controlled by some sort of supernatural power, and maybe it can. And if we knew what we were doing, maybe we would actually know the future. But we'll have to try this again someday.
Right.
Meanwhile, let's move on, I guess.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, I
Yeah.
don't know if this will be useful as a transition, but
Yeah.
but you know, in some ways, like this connects very much to what Timothy Leary is saying too,
Yeah.
because it's not about, in his case, not about the supernatural,
Right.
but about giving ourselves these ways into opening up.
Well,
signs
yes, and that's
symbols.
exactly like what we found with James Leonard and his divination tent. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that video.
So the divination tent is all about getting people to just think about the future, and particularly about climate change. And he uses tarot cards as a way to get people to think about that.
Right.
But he really says it's really about sort of opening up your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we take a look at Timothy Leary stuff,
Let's
you
do-
want to just
yeah,
know,
let's do the
let's
young
just see
ladies.
what this is for
Oh,
a minute.
that's just
here.
so great.
Let's.
Should I leave
I guess
these?
we should. We can leave them, and
Okay.
we'll move them later. So okay, so we'll move from the square of sevens to the young ladies
The young lady's oracle.
oracle. I thought that was what does it
Yeah.
say down here?
A fireside
Fireside
amusement.
amusement. So let's go back in time 100+ years, and what do we do with this?
So this would have been a little a game book as well.
Uh-huh.
And in the front, it's got this fold out
Uh-huh.
where it sort of shows you
A party?
the party in which you might play
And
this.
a bag of money?
No, these are actually going to be the numbers. So we'll see that in a second.
Okay.
I like how she's kind of dressed herself up in this robe.
little
as
spooky looking. Yeah.
So what you see is just sort of moving out of the place in which people are taking it seriously, maybe, or like giving themselves a way to play it as a game.
Right.
Um,
Can you do me a favor and push it towards me a little bit?
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right there. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is clearly meant as a game.
Clearly meant as a game,
Okay.
definitely. And very gendered game.
Okay.
So the way you would work with it is first you would cut out all of these
Which we'll not do
numbers.
today.
We won't do
Okay.
it, no. But that's what you were meant to do, is to cut these up. And they're actually, maybe you can see, on a much thicker.
Yeah, I
if you-
see there's almost, it's like a card.
Yeah, it's
essentially.
like a
Right.
card stock
Right.
that's laid in here. So they suggest that you cut these up and then put them into the nearest receptacle at hand.
Like a bag, like that beautiful
yeah. So they
velvet
actually
bag.
they
Right.
suggest to put it in your reticule.
Which everyone has?
If it's handy,
Okay.
just pop those in your reticule.
Okay.
And then you pick a question, and you also want to flag these tables. So it's got these tables of questions. These are the questions,
Right.
and then these are the numbers that we would have put in our
Got it.
reticule.
Got it. Got it.
And so then with your group, you would select a question. So let's
This is a lot
see.
like a
In the-
Magic 8 Ball.
These are the themes of the questions, right? So
Who
number
is my
1,
rival?
shall I be married soon? Number 3, is my love well placed? Number 5 is somewhat intriguing. Where will my folly lead me? I'm definitely presuming.
I like number 8. Shall I soon go to a ball?
Number 8. So let's see. Shall you soon go to a ball? All right. So we go to number 8. Let's see.
I hear the Radcliffe holiday party is really nice.
Let's see. How do we get to the? These are then the answers.
Right, so I'd have to choose a number,
Right.
and then we would have to look
You
up
choose the
answer.
answers, and then we would.
Okay, so let's
So
pretend
here we
I
have-
chose 12.
Okay.
What would the answer be?
So here's 8, question 8,
Number
and you've chose
12.
12,
And so we'd have to go
68.
68. So I'd go forward to
Yes.
68.
Page must be the page numbers.
68.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, page 68, and I pretend to choose 12. Not this year.
Not this year.
Well, that's good. It's December.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
fine.
so you have a chance next year.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, clearly, this kind of thing is still fun, and that's why there are Magic 8 Balls and Ouija boards and all of that. And I think it really is interesting that a lot of the kind of gamified prediction systems use this randomizing phenomenon, like picking numbers out of a bag, or putting cards out on the table, and then have these kind of predetermined answers to questions that you might ask. And people do treat it as a game, but it is interesting that it's extremely similar to things that people don't treat as a game.
Right.
So I understand that recently Harvard came into the possession of the papers of Timothy Leary. Some of them were manuscripts that he wrote while he was in prison. And I don't know too much about it, but I know that we looked at this once before, and that there's an amazing page here that talks about neurophysicists and neurogeneticists. But before we read this, can you just tell me, how did we get this? And what was Timothy Leary doing at this point? And what might LSD have had to do with it?
LSD had a lot to do with both Leary's position in prison at the time that he wrote this, and with our acquisition of the materials.
Okay.
So it came in as part of what is actually the world's largest collection of materials on altered states of being.
Okay.
So it includes a lot of stuff about drug use, as well as this kind of mystical, occult delving. So this piece actually sort of ends up being a bit in the middle of both of those.
And isn't there some backstory that Timothy Leary and other people were experimenting with LSD in a very serious academic way here at Harvard?
Yes.
Right, and that was in the 1960s?
60s, yeah.
Right. And then how did it go from that to prison?
Well, he, I think, never had quite full
Permission?
approvals.
I see. Okay.
You might say. We've actually even heard stories about lacing food and drinks at parties, and he was after something that really was.
But he really wanted to know
rooted
what
in
an altered
inquiry,
state
right.
of humans could get you to.
Yeah.
And maybe it could clear away that fog on the mirror that David Carrasco told us. Maybe
Exactly.
there's something we can see if we could just see like gods.
Right.
Okay. And what is Your Brain is God? What is that?
So
saying over
this
there?
is a book that he wrote, and I just brought this in to kind of draw out a little bit of what he's talking about here, because this is a manuscript that's about the I Ching, about tarot, and kind of using these various methods of divining and of looking into things. But in Leary's thought process, in Leary's brain,
Right.
what he's saying is like you're unlocking your own potential
Right.
to see, to be able to read codes, to be able to decipher the patterns to be able to go deeper than we go when we're locked into our prisons.
And that these substances can unlock those
exactly
prisons. Okay.
So in the beginning of his manuscripts, he's sort of talking about being an actual prisoner, but he says in some way we are all prisoners. We're all locked into our own minds, and we don't often get out of that because of our social conditioning.
While it is probably true that the great liberating revelations have come from prisoners and exiles, the converse is unhappily not true. Not all prisoners and exiles have access to new truths, and here lies the sorrow of the prisoner. And then he goes on.
Right, so he gets this kind of interesting point here where he's saying, the socially conditioned robot marches docilely through a domesticated sequence, never daring to question the meaning of the charade, haunted by the fear that one question will unravel the fabrication. The long-term prisoner, by contrast, is forced to see the questions.
Yeah, it says here, it continues, it is for these reasons that prisoners spend much of their time philosophizing, moralizing, speculating, searching for answers which domesticated citizens cannot be bothered with. But this is very true. In other words, this is exactly the same as James Leonard getting you into the tent or other things.
Right.
It's basically just saying, put it all aside and actually think really hard about the future, or don't think at all and then it'll come to you, or release the potential of your brain with a little LSD or some other substance. And so here, this page starts, the title is "The Essence Meaning of the Tarot Has Been Concealed by Deliberate and Accidental Distortions." So we're going to take a look with Colin at some tarot cards in a few minutes, but Timothy Leary's opinion is the tarot card deck is an ancient formula of neurogenetic symbols which has been passed down over the centuries. A complex psychological signal of this sort, which persists in time across many generations, must have some neurogenetic meaning, must relate somehow to modern scientific energy models. So then he goes on about occult systems and neurochemical principles, and then he starts criticizing scientists to some level. He says neurophysicists and neurogeneticists often develop esoteric languages to communicate their discoveries. The secrecy of Copernicus, that's just sort of a phrase, the secrecy of Copernicus. The mysticism of Paracelsus, I don't know. The symbolized sex magic of Giordano Bruno could be accepted.
Einstein.
What?
He's just added that into Einstein could be.
I
think it's just important.
Okay. The symbolized, the mysticism of this name we can't read. Pericles, maybe?
Maybe. It looks like it was kind
too
of
many
struck
typos.
through, yeah.
Right. The symbolized sex marriage of sex magic. What does sex? Giordano Bruno was the one in the whole story with the Pope and the solar system, and I don't know what the sex magic part is. Giordano Bruno, Einstein could be safely accepted by non-fascist society as an eccentric genius because his revolutionary formulae were presented in the symbols of mathematics and the neurogenetic meaning of the relativity statements thus disguised. So in summary, he's saying math is covering up its symbols, covering up the true message.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's giving us a way to take it in.
Okay.
And to legitimize.
Einstein was exiled for his beliefs and could find refuge in America only because the explosive psychological implications of his fissioning equations were not understood. Yes, except that America made a bomb out of his fissioning equations and no one else did, so I'm not sure about that. Okay. So where was that interesting conclusion?
This one.
There it is, right.
Yeah.
The footnote. This one? Footnote, we must distinguish between the neurogenetic signal/system and the later uncomprehending / robot transmitters. That is between astrology and astrologers. Astrology has a certain value. Most astrologers are rote robots playing idea tapes which they do not understand. So this is almost like the game books that we were looking at a minute ago. The tarot and the I Ching are code signals. Their use in fortune telling is absurd. When arranged, the I Ching, when arranged in the correct order, are code signals. Their use in fortune telling is absurd. So he's basically saying it's just like we were discussing a minute ago, that you can have these kind of randomizing systems, and maybe if you take it very seriously or if you know what you're doing, it really means something. And then if you turn it into a game, maybe it doesn't. And so he's essentially saying that people are turning the tarot and the I Ching into a game, and that actually there's this neuro something or other connection that they allow you to make if you do it right.
Right.
This is fascinating. And do we know whether or not he was on LSD or not when he wrote all this?
Probably not, because he was actually in prison.
Unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily...
I guess that doesn't necessarily tell us anything, right? But
right. Well, thank you, Timothy Leary. Yeah. And where did we get all these papers?
From Julio Santo Domingo.
Okay.
He's a collector.
Well, thank you, Julio Santo Domingo. This is very useful for our course.